So you're going back and forth of whether to get the creator combo or the normal combo. You've seen there's a new mic included in the creator combo, but you've got the original mic 1. And I'm wondering, is it even worth you getting the creator combo for the new mic 2? Or you don't have any external mics and are wondering how good are the internal mics on the Pocket 3? Well, what a perfect time for me to say, hear me out. This little guy is the mic 2, which comes in the creator combo with the Pocket 3. And as of time of recording today, you can't currently buy this as a separate device. I'm sure in months to come it will be available separately to buy, but right now it only comes in the creator combo with the Pocket 3. Now, apart from the amazingly soft wind muff, which I really need to stop rubbing it on my face, but I can't help it because it's so soft, what are the main features of the mic 2? Well, it's got 32-bit float recording, which I'm not gonna lie, I had absolutely no idea what that was, and I've got a rough sense of what it is now. And in simple terms, it's kind of like when you have a raw image or raw video and you're able to make adjustments later in post that you wouldn't necessarily be able to do if you didn't have a raw image or raw video. So it's like having a raw audio file, so you don't get any clipping for loud voices or noises, and if things are too quiet, you obviously have the option to adjust them later in post. 32-bit float recording though is only available when you record internally, as in direct in to the mic 2. And talking of recording internally, you can record internally, so essentially you can just hit record and record directly into it, connect it to your computer, and you've got your audio file there, so you can use it as a standalone mic. Can you connect it to other devices? Well, I've tried and I've tried and I've tried, and so far I haven't been able to connect it to anything other than my iPhone. I've tried my A7 III, I've tried the Action 4, it just doesn't find it. But with the iPhone, it did take me probably about 10 attempts for it to finally appear on the Bluetooth list. But I literally turned it on, you press the link button on the side, and finally it appeared on the Bluetooth list, and you just hit it and then use it as an external mic to your iPhone. It's got a feature linked with the Pocket 3 called audio to video sync, which if you turn on, what that will do is it will record internally on the mic 2 at the same time as recording direct to the video file that the Pocket 3 is obviously recording at. So let's say you had the camera up like this and you were doing walking shots where you might go behind trees or bushes or go up a hill like this, in which you might, okay, we're not gonna go up there, but let's say you've ended up on the other side and there was connection issues between the mic 2 and the Pocket 3. Well, you're recording internally as well, so what you can do is you can plug that into your computer, pull off that audio file later, and just sync it up with the video file in post. You don't need a receiver to be able to use it with the Pocket 3. It literally just works standalone like this. Just turn it on and within a few seconds the Pocket 3 will find it and it will connect up straight away. You can actually use the mic 2 as a remote to the Pocket 3, so you can press the link button to start or stop recording. You can then press the on or off button to turn wind reduction on or off, and you'll know you're in wind reduction because the LED at the top will go yellow. And I think the best way to think about that is a yellow warning for wind. So you know that yellow represents wind reduction being on because of the yellow warning for wind. Yeah? And when it's blue, it means, wind reduction is off. Can you record internally on the mic 2 and on the Pocket 3 at the same time and essentially have two separate files? Yes, but you need to disconnect the mic 2 fully from the Pocket 3, so essentially they're acting as two separate devices. So when it's connected to the Pocket 3, which it does straight away as soon as both of them are turned on, you need to hold down the link button at the top, and when it flashes blue, it means it's disconnected from the Pocket 3. You'll also see a message pop up on the Pocket 3 screen saying, mic 2 disconnected. What you now need to do now is essentially press the record button on the mic 2 when you want to start a recording, because when you press the record button on the Pocket 3, obviously it's not connected, so it's going to be recording using the internal mics. So hit record on this, hit record on that, and you've got a separate audio file being recorded on this, and you've got an audio file which is being recorded through the internal mic system on the Pocket 3, which will be obviously linked to the video. So later in post, you've got those two separate files which you're able to do whatever you want with. Underneath the softest wind muff you'll ever feel is this little jack, which you can put a lav mic into if you want, and the way that the wind muff works is it just slots into that hole when nothing's in it. But a lav mic does go into the top just by taking the wind muff off. If you do have the Mic 1 and you do have the charging case for the Mic 1, does the Mic 2 fit inside the charging case? No, unfortunately not. Okay, enough with the facts and figures. I've now switched over to the Mic 2, and this is how it is sounding. Mic check 1, 2. This is with wind reduction off. Now at the moment, it's typical. When you want some wind, there's never any wind, and when you don't want wind, there is. I'm standing in the middle of a field, and a minute ago it was so windy that I was like, perfect. And now there's no wind at all. But wind reduction is currently off. This is how it's sounding. And I thought to myself, well, what can I possibly stand in the middle of a field, right, in the cold, dull weather and talk to you about whilst you hear what the audio sounds like from the Mic 2, because I've, already given you the facts and figures. Well, I think we're going to have a bit of fun, and we're going to do some tongue twisters. So I've literally typed in tongue twisters on Google and gone to the first link, and here we are. So let's do a few tongue twisters, remembering this is coming from the Mic 2 with wind reduction off. She sells on the seashore. Seashore. Classic, classic, classic. How much wood would a woodchuck wood if a woodchuck could chuck wood? That was pretty good. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. That was good as well. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't very fuzzy, was he? What? Was he? Betty Botter bought a bit of butter, but the butter Betty bought was bitter, so Betty thought a better butter, and the better butter, better butter Betty that was, but nah, what? Okay, let's start again. Betty Butter bought a bit of butter, but the butter Betty bought was bitter, so Betty bought a better butter, and the better butter Betty thought was better than the bitter butter Betty bought before. 11 elephants eagerly eat Easter eggs. Am I saying it fast enough? I'm supposed to go faster. Right, I think that's that. I think you must get the gist by now of how it sounds with wind reduction turned off. So I'm now going to turn wind reduction on, and remember you can do that by pressing the on button once, and the LED goes to yellow, the yellow warning for wind. So we're now recording from the Mic 2 with wind reduction turned on. And this is how it's sounding. Now, like I said, there really isn't any wind going on at the moment, unfortunately. But I personally don't like having wind reduction turned on, even when there is wind, because I think that the mics do a perfectly good job, especially with the wind muff on. In fact, no, you need the wind muff on when there's wind, because you can definitely tell the difference. But with the wind muff on, even when there's wind, I don't really like turning wind reduction on, for the pure reason that I think it makes the voice sound too processed and sometimes actually too underwater. So I actually like to pretty much most of the time keep wind reduction turned off, but this is with wind reduction turned on, so you can make your mind up. So on with the tongue twisters. And we up next have, my hands are so cold I can't even operate my phone. Right, okay, we're moving on. Friendly frogs frog licked freely from France. A big black bug bit a big black bear. A box of biscuits, a box of mixed biscuits, and a biscuit mixer. A proper, I've never heard of any of these before. The first batch that we did, I was like, yeah, okay, I remember these. Maybe that's a good thing, because so brisk, brave, brigid, I can't even pronounce that word, we'll move on. How much caramel can a canny cannibal cram in a camel, if a canny cannibal can cram caramel in a camel. If two witches were watching two watches, no, you can't stop. Okay, start again. If two witches were watching two watches, which witch would watch which watch? That's a good one. Cool. So that is the Mic 2 with wind reduction turned on. And yeah, make your mind up as to what you're saying. Okay, on with the Mic 1. And first of all, I know what you're thinking. How soft is the wind muff? Well, it is soft, but it's not as soft as the Mic 2. But talking of wind muff, it does come on and off slightly different than the Mic 2, in a sense that you have to twist it off and then twist it to put it back on, which actually is a little bit fiddly sometimes, especially when your hands are frozen. So just give me a minute. But yeah, underneath that, I'm not going to try to take it off again. Underneath that is another jack which you could put a lav mic into as well. But yeah, I prefer the design of the wind muff on that. Obviously it being soft and you can just pull it on and off rather than twisting. And with the Mic 1, you can't actually connect it direct to the Pocket 3 without a receiver being plugged in. So you need to have a receiver plugged into the Pocket 3 for it to be able to connect. And that can be done direct into the Pocket 3, or it can be done using the battery handle with the USB slot on that, or the little extension thing with the 1/4 inch screw at the bottom. I don't know what its proper name is. I assume it's the extension thingy. That's got a USB-C port on it as well, which the receiver plugs into as well. It can record internally, exactly like the Mic 2 can. So essentially you can use this as a standalone mic as well. But I haven't currently been able to find a way to record internally on this at the same time as the Pocket 3, like automatically. There is a way, I'll come to it in a minute. But what I mean is, when I showed you that audio to video sync option, as in if we were doing a walking shot behind trees and you had that backup on here, when you press record on the Pocket 3, it automatically starts recording on the Mic 2 when you have audio to video sync turned on. But with the Mic 1, you don't have that option. So the only way to recreate that setting essentially is do it manually yourself. So when you hit record on the Pocket 3, hit record on the Mic 1 at the same time, and you'll see the red light come on the actual mic itself. And that's your way of having a recording internally on the Mic 1 as well as on the Pocket 3, which will replicate that audio to sync setting that you've got with the Mic 2 and the Pocket 3. It can connect to your iPhone as well, but again, it does need the receiver plugged into it for it to be able to connect. Also, there is a little bit of wind now. Oh, it's gone. Typical, absolutely typical. It just literally was like, then stopped. Anyway, you can use the Mic 1 as a remote as well to the Pocket 3, which is great to start and stop recording. So the same way, just press the link button to start a recording or press the link button to stop a recording on the Pocket 3. So I've now reconnected the Mic 1 back up. So I've put the Mic 2 back in my pocket. So you can really have a good old listen to the sound coming from the Mic 1. And there is now, I can confirm, a little bit of wind picking up. It's so cold, my hands are so cold, and the wind is like icy, but it stopped again. But yeah, there's like wind that's coming in and out, so it'd be interesting to see whether you can hear that, because obviously I can't hear it right now, as to whether you're hearing it or not until I hear it later. So on with, let's see, my tongue is already twisted. On with the tongue twisters. Okay, yes, I hear you say. Okay, audio coming direct from Mic 1, and tongue twisters continued. I wish to wash my Irish wristwatch. I wish to wish, you wish to wish. But if you wish the witch wishes, I won't wish the wish you wish to wish. I think we need to do that one again. That guy literally was coming behind me. I could feel someone was there, and I was like, this is strange. I can't stand in the middle of a field reading tongue twisters off. So I'm gonna need to make sure I keep a 360 view of who's around, because yeah, it's a bit strange, isn't it? I think we'll just do one more. I think you might get the gist after this. I kind of want to go back to that one. I wish to wish the wish you wish to wish, but if you wish the wish, the witch wishes, I won't wish the wish you wish to wish. A medal, please. Right, so as I take a speedy walk back to my car, because I'm currently frozen and I need to put the heaters on max to warm myself up, I thought I'd turn all of the mics off and let you listen to how the audio sounds from the internal mics on the Pocket 3. Now at the moment I'm in auto mode, and in auto mode you can't dive into the microphone settings and adjust things like the wind reduction or the directional audio on the Pocket 3. So yeah, what you're hearing now is us in auto mode, and this is how it's sounding in an outside environment. But what I'll do now is I'll switch over to Pro mode and turn wind reduction on as well, just to make a fair comparison so you can see how that sounds. And just like that, we're back. So we're now in Pro mode, where you can dive into the deeper microphone settings and turn on wind reduction, which is what I've done now. So everything you're hearing now is still from the internal mics, but wind reduction is turned on. There's currently no wind, but yeah, I don't like wind reduction on the internal mics either, because I do think it makes the voice sound just a bit weird. But I think you'll need wind reduction on more times on the internal mics than you would do using external mics, because obviously you don't have a wind muff attached to the microphone system internally, whereas on, you know, mics like this you've got the wind muff which blocks out the wind most of the time, doing a pretty much good job that you don't need to turn the wind reduction setting on. But yeah, this is wind reduction on, just in case you're wondering what it sounds like. I need to go in my car now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm so cold. So yeah, catch up with you in a bit. Warmth, warmth, warmth. It's so cold out there. I don't know what's happening. Well, I do. It's, you know, turning to winter. That's what's happening. But yeah, it was just too cold, and now it's nice and warm. So here we are. Okay, so the current setup is the same. You're still listening to the audio from the internal mics. I've switched back into auto mode now though, so wind reduction is turned off. And yeah, this is how it's sounding in an inside environment. And what we'll do now is we'll switch on the mic 1 so you can see how that sounds in an inside environment as well, and then we'll do with the same with the mic 2. But yeah, this is the internal mics inside. Mic check 1 2. Don't worry, I'm not going to do any more tongue twisters for you today. Yeah, let me switch back over to the mic 1, and we're back. So everything you're hearing now is coming direct from the mic 1 in an inside environment. This is how it's sounding. And yeah, just whilst I was setting it up, I was thinking actually one of the cons with using the mic 1 with something like the Pocket 3 is you have to plug the receiver in every time you want to, you know, connect to it. Whereas with the mic 2, when I connect to it in a minute, I'm literally going to take it out of my pocket, clip it on, turn it on, and it will connect straight away, you know, to the Pocket 3. So that's another thing to note, that you do, like I said earlier, you have to plug the receiver into the Pocket 3 for this to be able to, you know, get a connection between each other, which is a bit of a pain because it's another little device that you have to make sure is charged. It's another device that you have to carry around with you, and yeah, another device that you have to attach. But yeah, let's switch over to the mic 2 now so you can see what that sounds like in an inside environment. Okay, so we're now coming direct from the mic 2, and like I just said, that setup was just super smooth and quick. I just took it out of my pocket, clipped it to my jacket, turned it on, and the Pocket 3 found it straight away and pressed record, and bam, you're good to go. But yeah, this is what the mic 2 sounds like in an inside environment. But yeah, I hope that these tests have helped you make a decision of what mic you're going to go with, if any, or you're going to stick to the internal mics with the Pocket 3, which are still great sounding mics. My personal opinion, which mic do I prefer out of the 3? it would have to be the Mic 1. I think the audio is a lot clearer on it. Sometimes I've listened to the audio back on the Mic 2 and it sounds way too muffly, or it sometimes sounds like I'm underwater. I don't know, but it still does a great job, especially at cutting the noise pollution out when you're outside with all the cars and the wind and stuff. And the internal mic system is great on the Pocket 3 as well, but it does sound like any other mic on a device like this or your phone, where it doesn't block out the wind the best or the noise pollution around it. But if I had to choose a mic out of the Mic 1 and 2, I would definitely choose the Mic 1 if I'm looking at the overall sound quality. If I'm looking at the overall picture, the Mic 2 definitely has its advantages with not needing a receiver to be plugged into the Pocket 3 every time you want to use it. It's obviously got that 32-bit float recording, which I'm not going to blab on about too much because, yeah, and act like I still know 100% about it, but it's apparently a massive feature which is there and great to have. So yeah, it has its pros and cons like anything. The ultimate decision really lies on what you prefer the sound of, because let's be honest, that's what it is. If you were looking to buy a camera, you would look at the image quality and what picture you like best. So with this, it's what you prefer the sound of when it comes, you know, to a microphone. But yeah, that is that. I think I'm going to go home and have a hot shower now because I can't still feel my toes. So on that note, let's hang out in the comments below and you'll see me very soon.